Hey everyone, welcome to ChalkTalk. I'm your host, Colton Thomas. Week 2 is done. We'll take a look at each game. We'll look at UTFL standings, prediction scorecards, as well as looking at next week's matchups, predictions, and top 5. Let's get rolling. First game of the week would be the Legends versus the Voodoos. Let's see how that rolled out. There you have it. Legends win this one 31-6. They now have moved to 1-1, and the Voodoos are 0-2. Legends bounce back from a loss last week to the Spartans, and the Voodoos continue their losing streak. Heading into our next game, we have the Reapers versus the Ducks. Will the Reapers have enough to stop the Ducks, or will the Ducks continue to dominate? Let's take a look at the highlights. Ducks dominate 40-0 over the Reapers. Ducks move to 2-0 on the season. Reapers 0-2 on the season. I did have a buy on them last week. Let's see if I decide to sell them this week. Third game, Space Force versus Sports Rally. Space Force had a bye week last week and did not play a game this season yet. Sports Rally had a win last week. Let's see if they can keep that win streak going. Space Force squeaks out a win on this one over Sports Rally, 12-8, moving to 1-0 on the season. Sports Rally is now 1-1 on the season, heading into week 3. Our fourth game features the Wolves versus the Spartans. Spartans had a fast-paced offense last week against the Legends. Let's see if they can keep that pace up. Shockingly, the Spartans barely won this one, 12-0. Spartans' offense didn't click very well, and the Wolves' defense stepped it up. Spartans are 2-0 on the season, Wolves are 0-2 on the season. Now that we've reviewed all the games, let's take a look at the UTFL standings and see where teams are placed. Standings through Week 2, Ducks are at the top spot, 2-0. Spartans at 2, 2-0. Outcasts didn't have a game but didn't move, stayed at 3rd. Space Force at 4th, moved up 1 with the win. Sports Rally with a loss, dropped down 1 to 5th. Legends moved up 2 spots with a win. Voodoo with a loss still moved up 1. Wolves with a loss still moved up 1 to 8th. And the Reapers with a loss dropped down 2 at 9th. Now that we're finished with the standings, let's take a look at the prediction scorecards of myself, John Jadden, and Candy Reed. I've changed the prediction scorecard. We have week's picks, which is picking winners of each game. We all went 4 of 4. Week scores is taking all the scores combined and then taking the difference of the actual scores of each game. ChalkTalk had 36 points, John Jadden had a 52-point difference, and Candy Reed had a 64-point difference. Lower the score, the better. Closer to 0, the better. Heading over to season picks, ChalkTalk's at 6, John Jadden has a perfect 8 score, and Candy Reed is 7 of 8. Season scores, ChalkTalk is at 112, John Jadden 122, and Candy Reed 134. Now let's head over to the UTFL stock market, where I buy, sell, and wait on teams. So let's see who I'm investing in right now. Teams to buy, I would buy the Wolves right now, though they have lost 2 games in a row. They put up a stout defense against a high-octane offense of the Spartans and only held them to 12 points. Next week they play the Voodoos, and I expect a win from them, but who knows, maybe the Voodoos will pull an upset. Teams I'm selling, Space Force. Someone call NASA, they're having some problems up there. Space Force only put 12 points up against a struggling Sports Rally team and beat them by 4. This next week's opponents for them is the Reapers. I expect a win from them, but Reapers have been playing fairly well. I could see Reapers potentially upsetting the Space Force. And finally, teams to watch for, Reapers, Spartans, Outcasts. I still think Reapers can do well this season if they continue to play hard like they have been. Spartans, after last week's game against the Wolves, I may say them depending on how they play Sports Rally this next week. And the Outcasts, I'm watching them. They played pretty good, but they do have a challenge here with the Ducks. We'll see if they can actually put some points up on the Ducks, but I don't expect them to win, but I'm pretty sure they'll have a good season this year. To buy, to sell, who knows. Let's head into Week 3's matchups and see who's playing who. Our first game of the week, the Ducks versus the Outcasts at 9 a.m. Spartans versus Sports Rally at 10:30. Reapers versus Space Force at noon, and Voodoo versus the Wolves at 1:30. Now that we know who's playing who, let's head over to predictions where me, John, and Candy predict who's going to win each game and by how many points. First game of the week, Ducks versus Outcasts. ChalkTalk has the Ducks winning this one 32-0. John Jadden also has the Ducks winning this one 30-6. And Candy Reed has the Ducks winning 28-0. Next up, Spartans versus Sports Rally. ChalkTalk has Spartans winning this one 21-6. John Jadden also has the Spartans winning this one 21-12. And Candy Reed has the Spartans squeezing by 13-12. Third game, Reapers versus Space Force. Space Force squeaking out again, winning this one 12-8. John Jadden picking Space Force to win this one 20-0, and Candy Reed picking Space Force to win this one as well 20-7. And our final prediction of the week, Voodoo versus the Wolves. 2 teams defeated, somebody's getting a win. Wolves win this one 22-6 from ChalkTalk. John Jadden also picks the Wolves to win this one 18-7, and Candy Reed has the Wolves winning this one 16-6. And there you have it. There's our predictions for this week's games. Now let's head over to Top 5. That does it for this week's episode of Chalk Talk. If you like, give me a like, add a comment. If you want to say some crap that I'm wrong about, go for it. Always down for that stuff. I just want my thanks out to the UTFL Commission and leadership. Can't really do the show without them. Also looking about adding another segment with some stat-related stuff or adding some more information. Be fun because, I'm a stat guy, as some of you know. I have lots of stats information. Well, that does it for this episode of Chalk Talk. I'm your host, Colton Thomas.